Hi kids, Mrs. Donahue here with our Mrs. D's Fun with Science, and this is our weather edition, and this is another segment of our severe weather edition. So today we're going to be talking about a different type of severe weather that we have here in New England, and it is when it's cold and it's winter time. I don't know if you could think of what it might be, but this is a blizzard or a snowstorm. So a blizzard is severe because it's not just a regular snowfall, but a blizzard is combined with tons of heavy wind, and it can actually cause damage. So a blizzard is a very heavy, very windy snowstorm. Now we're going to be making a blizzard in a jar. And again, the first thing we need is a jar. And I've already actually made this experiment. So I'm going to show you kind of how it looks before the blizzard happens. But what you need is, instead of filling about 3/4 with water, this is with oil. You can use a cooking oil, which is in here, or a baby oil. And you fill it about 3/4 of the way with the oil. And then you're gonna need white paint. Some experiments you might read will just have the white paint by itself, but you should mix it with water. Mix it with water so it's kind of a thick, pasty, but still liquidy mess right here. You're gonna pour that into the jar. Now, if you're in class before I would do this, I would ask you, what do you think is gonna happen to the water when it goes into the oil? Do they mix together? Do they blend together? Water and oil do not blend together. Water and oil do not mix, and the water is actually, well, water with the paint goes down to the bottom because the water is more dense than the oil, so it sinks to the bottom. So the oil kind of pushes the water down. And in this mixture, I also have some glitter. You could also add some food coloring if you'd like to. But again, the food coloring can be very overpowering, and it might kind of take over the whole thing. So I tend not to use the food coloring if we don't need to. So when you put the white paint and the glitter and everything down to the bottom, this one might actually have 1 drop of blue food coloring in it. So I haven't tried this one yet to see how it works, but I'm really curious to see. And then you need something called Alka-Seltzer. So Alka-Seltzer is typically a upset stomach medicine, and it causes bubbles when it goes into water. So it makes the water bubble, and that's what's really gonna be the magic piece of our experiment. Now I do have these things. These are just fizzing color tablets, but their main ingredient is the same thing that is in Alka-Seltzer, sodium bicarbonate. So that is what makes the bubbles happen. So these are kind of small, so I'm gonna use a few of them. I'm gonna use about 4 of them. If you had the Alka-Seltzer, you could probably cut it in half, try a half at a time, however you wanna do it. But again, this doesn't have to be covered while you do this, but I leave it covered just because I don't want it to spill or get knocked over or anything. So you're gonna take these, once everything's settled at the bottom, you're gonna drop them right inside. Now, think about what might happen. We're talking about a snowstorm in a jar, so if it makes the water bubble, think about what's gonna happen. So those are in there. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Oh, and the blue food coloring actually made the snow look blue. And the glitter kind of gives it a sparkle. So again, if you had a flashlight or something like that, it'd be kind of cool. Now, the interesting thing is the oil, remember, the oil pushes the water down. So what's gonna happen is the drops are coming up because of the bubbling, but the oil is gonna push them back down. So you're gonna have bubbles coming up and down in your jar. So if this makes it easier to see, I'll put the white behind it. And we have our snowstorm in the jar. The bubbles are going up and going down. And that'll go for a little while. And eventually the tablets will fade away and they'll dissolve completely, and it'll stop, and it'll actually settle back down. And once everything settles back down, you can put more in, it'll do it all over again. So this one I've actually did not do this one before, but I have others that I've done before and they've settled down, and you can try it all over again. So this is our snowstorm in a jar. So I hope you get a chance to try it. If you do, let me know. Send me pictures, videos if you can. I'd love to know how it goes if you try it. Again, it's not a required assignment. It's just for fun, if you want to try, if you want to see it. But science is fun. See you next time.